thought that was the most interesting thing of the night.
Yes, and we also received several notes from producers who are unhappy about Brexit. And one of the main arguments is, I don't have the right to go, what is being described as freedom of movement. But what I'm hearing everyone say is, well, now I can't move to France and work there for a year. Yeah, you can. But that's, if the most important thing being in the EU is that you can leave England, what is your point? That's like everyone, no, I can't leave. Yeah, you can.
I read they're idiots. And I got a lot of those same notes, and it was always, now I can't leave. What do you can leave? You can always think you can leave now. There's nothing's changed for a couple of weeks, for at least a year or two.
And I understand.
Leave. Get out of there if you hate it that much.
But it seems everybody who's pissed off about it is the fact that they can't work outside of England, of the UK. That just doesn't make sense. Anyway, this I thought was very interesting. This is actually the kitchen sink. All the memes are thrown in here this way.
How confident are you, based on what you wrote, that Americans will vote?
Let's do it again.
Announcing his resignation, walking back into 10 Downing Street, his arm around his wife. And here in America, fear over Americans and their savings. The Dow ending the day down more than 600 points. And tonight, as the reality sets in, evidence some British voters may be having second thoughts. Really, Trump, who will serve the voters asking what it is, they just left. Yeah, it's a mystery.
The way it should have been, if you wanted to make this funny, you could have done this wondering what was slamming about the Scott.
Slam, man.
Yeah, I said that. The democracy, except some other minor outlets, showed the guy that come out. You could see I was fighting the guy. And then he threw a bunch of these golf balls out, and then they showed the shots of them. Everybody, all American major outlets, nobody even mentioned this little thing. And it was anything was funny, it was this.
The audio wasn't good, that's why. It was just not well.
Yeah, so the guy should have liked himself.
I have an MSNBC version of the Googling, what is the EU? Right?
Yeah, it's interesting because the Googling of what is the EU and what happens if you leave that spiked after the vote was pretty incredible. Bob, I want to play you, just to Ken's point, sort of the uncertainty that we're now seeing. A lot of people actually voted to leave. This is one young man who's gotten a lot of play, probably to his extreme sadness, a woman, about regrets about the vote. Take a listen. There's a young man who was at a round table who was even more famous than the first lady, but that kind of regret that you're seeing now, what do you make of it?
Well, I think that people are basically saying, mad as hell, to use a cliche, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore, and that's what they were saying with their vote. If you ask them what they're mad at, they can't really say, but what they are angry at is the fact that not only is this a nostalgia for the past, but a fear of the future, and probably it's a valid fear. They have been talked down to and been taken advantage of by the elites, whether they're the intellectual elites, the political elites, certainly the economic elites, and of course that is the feeling in this country and forms the basis for the support for Donald Trump.
Bringing it back to Trump, I guess we could unless you have something else, I do have an opinion about the real cause of this, unless you want to hear it. Yeah, play some more clips. I want to do that.
The thing about, okay, let's go, I've got plenty of crazy clips. Let's go to the ABC, back to ABC with Tom Young. And he's covering Trump after the Gulf War.
We're still doing Brexit though, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do Brexit for a while.
Okay, good.
We promised we're going to do Brexit. All our thoughts about Brexit. That was shame or screwy.
Or made ill by the bull crap.
But you get made ill by this. And all those fears and everything. And again, I'm going to stick with my theory that this was all part of a World War III scenario.
Which is interestingly, a couple of the memes I'm hearing, another big one, which Angela Merkel tweeted out as well, saying the European Union project was about stopping wars. And it's gone, now we'll have war. That is a big one. Oh, it was about stopping wars.
Yeah.
I'm going to,
There's actually people in England that believe that.
yeah, I'm going to
I
disagree
read it
with
in
this.
some like forum, and somebody says, "Oh, we're gonna have war now." There's some kid, an 18-year-old, we're having war now. My dad said something else.
I spoke to Michelle, my buddy who was in place in the south of France, south of France, and south of France, I'm telling you, yeah. And he said, well, there's a couple of things. So number one, now the French are very vindictive. He said they are going to mess with us. That is his thinking. He's a real great. But the thing he brought up, which I found interesting, is Gibraltar. And Gibraltar is now in play. And the parallel is so uncanny because here we have a small piece that's attached to Spain that was acquired after the war of the succession of Spain when I forget his name. He was childless, and so who was going to be the ruler of Spain? And they had to divvy it all up, and someone to his sister. And so there's a lot going on, and then there's a big war over this succession. And what wound up happening is England, which was a smaller player, they got a couple of protectors. They got Minorca